Hello everybody, and welcome to something a little bit different for a Smile tutorial. There are a couple of things to note right off the bat in regards to this. This is obviously about the Flexglow engine by Black Falcon. That being the case, this is something you have to do outside of Smile. There's some things within the program that we can look at to help us figure some things out as to where certain palettes and stuff are. But in order to get this to work, you will need some programs outside of Smile. So in the video description, there will be a link to, obviously, Smile 2.5, the one you'll be seeing me use in the video here. The Flexglow engine itself, which should also include a PNG image, this one here, and this text document, the ASM file itself. And it should include a link to XKS, which is an assembler, basically the program you'll be using to get this to work. Now, this is not going to be a tutorial on how to use XKS. This is just going to be about the Flexglow engine. So you'll have to look elsewhere to see if you're unfamiliar with how to use the assembler. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, so this is the entire Flexglow engine made by Black Falcon. As you can see, it is quite the document. And at first this may look very intimidating. I know when I first looked at this thing was scary to me. I thought I had to make a bunch of changes throughout all this, and I had no idea what in the world I was doing. Thankfully, it's not that difficult. Basically, everything up here is the engine. We don't touch a thing with it. Everything we want is beneath tables. And to break it down even further, everything we want is this right here. This is the string of code that is going to make our glows glow. So it'll be right after start. There'll be a sample code. I've changed it around a little bit already. And I've added some more in myself that we'll look at a little bit later. But to get started, we know what we're looking for, what we need to do. We're going to break down this string and find out what each of these 6 bytes does. So first off, after this db, this 04, if we go up top, this basically breaks down all the bytes for us. The first byte is the timer, which is obviously how fast it'll glow. So it's got a max of FF. So that is, this first one is the timer. The second one, this is telling it what it's going to do, what type of glow it's going to do. So we've got 4 options. We can either add color and then subtract, subtract and add, cycle forwards through palettes, or cycle backwards through palettes. And he recommends at least 3 palettes with the cycles, but you can do it with 2. But those are the first 2 bytes. Pretty simple stuff. The next 2 bytes work in conjunction with each other, these 2 here. This first one is selecting the palette bit. We're telling it where to start at. So, right here, these first 2 digits are always 0, 0, just for reference. These next 2, you can use that in conjunction with the image. This is telling it what line to start down. So the first number is counting down how many lines first. The second number is counting how many over. So because 0 is a number, in his sample string he has 1, 1, which goes right there. I am going with 3, 1 because I want these doors to glow. And this is the part where we can bring in Smile to look for a palette, because right here is my blue door. So I want it to go 1, 2, 3, and then 1 over. That's the first palette with blue door. So that's what I've got entered in here, 3, 1. The next bit, or byte, is telling it how many palettes to grab. So these 2 work in conjunction with each other. So I told it to grab 3, so I've gone down to here. This is the starting bit. Now I've told it to grab 3 palettes. So it's starting this one. So there's 1, 2, 3. Those 3 are what it's grabbing. So, and it has to be in a row. You're not going to be able to skip. You aren't going to be able to do 3, skip 3, then do more. You'll have to make another string to then make something else on the same line glow. So that's what those two are. The next one is the color. So we got 01 for red, 02 for green, 04 is blue, 03 is yellow, so red and green, etc. And the last one works in conjunction with the first byte, the timer, the intensity. So this affects the duration of the glow period multiplied with the timer. So I just put some numbers in there, and you can play around with that and get a lot of different types of effects with it. And really, one of the nice things is once you find the palette you're looking for, basically the other 4 bytes you can adjust however you want just to see how it's going to look. So really that is all there is to the Flexglow. You just got these 6 bytes. Really the important part is finding your palette and how many, the palette starting point and how many palettes you're going to grab to effect with this glow. So now that we've got the basics of this out of the way, let's look at some demonstrations of how it works. Alright, now that we've got the basics down, take a look at how to apply it and what we need to do. So right now I just have this one code going. I've got all these commented out, so they are not going to affect anything. So how I got there again was pulling up the graphics editor, found the blue door cap, and if you're ever wondering what palette a tile uses, you can click on it. This will show you the palette number. So if I wanted the metal part of the door to glow and not the door cap, I would be using palette 1, and then finding the palettes, which would be right in here for that tile. But these use palette line 3, and it's the first 3 palettes. You can use that with anything. So you want to make these glow, got palette line 6 on those. If you wanted these, it's palette line 3, so on and so forth. So now that I have that, these doors aren't actually glowing yet because I have not applied the code yet. So I've already got this set up to apply to the ROM I'm working on. When you apply it, it will come up with something like this. It will give you an example offset of 85AB00, telling you to use AB00 as a pointer. So here is our offset, 85CF90. So you'll want to make sure you remember that, or write it down. And then I've already done this, but you'll need to put that in the unknown room variable box here in the pointer window. So once you've got that, make sure to save. And let me open this back up and refresh it. Now let's take a look and see what's going on. Move this over here. And as you can see, got the doors glowing now. So what you'll end up wanting to do is go hunting down the palette for the tiles you're looking for, plugging that in to the code on these 2 lines, find out how many palettes there are after the starting point, then play around with the timer, the intensity. You could try different colors, you can try, or that's the color, you could try different effects, whether you want to cycle, add or subtract first, whatever you want to do with that, to play around, get a glow, see how you like it. So now we've got those doors glowing. We'll take a look now at some enemies, because this is a very versatile glow. It works on everything. By everything I mean everything. You can do it on the tiles, you can do it on enemies, you can do it on Samus, you can do it on the FX1. Literally anything. I'm going to show a little bit of all of it here. So to find with the enemies, what you'll need to do is right click on the enemy. Say I want to make the eyes glow on these guys. So right click on the enemy, opens the species editor. Scroll over one in this box and you'll see the palette pointer. Hit edit. That will bring up the palette. That is a 16 line or 16 palette line, basically one straight line here. And let me close out that real fast. You see, I have it using palette 2. So, our sample picture, we have enemy palette line 2. So you just count down till you get to that line, which I have already done, so that's line A. And then you want to count how many palettes is your starting palette, because these 3 are obviously I, so it starts at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A. So my starting thing for their glowing eyes is AA. Then it's 3 palettes, so I have that. I have the color. I have my other things put in there. Let me go ahead and uncomment that. Then we'll save that. Close out of that. And you can do that for any enemy. Just open up the editor, open up the palette, find out which one you want. If you wanted the body to glow and not the eyes, you can do that. You can do basically whatever you want with it. But now that I have that in there, let's go ahead and apply this. And again, it's the same pointer. Just going to apply it. Open this back up and refresh the room. This time, we should be seeing glowing doors and these things, eyeballs, glow as well. And there you can see the eyeballs glowing there as well. Of course, these guys bounce around, so it's not exactly the best thing, but now we've got 2 glows going. So that's all pretty cool stuff. And again, this will work with any enemy. It will work with bosses as well, which is why I have these guys using palette line 2, because on here I have this one here. Palette line 9 is for the enemy line number 1. So if we undo that and save that, I have this one set up to show off the glow on the bosses. So let's open this back up. Or at least a boss, I should say. So open that back up. We'll go into Spore Spawn's room. Take a look at this. And you can kind of see him already glowing there. And I just tried firing with plasma and spacer equipped. Not the best thing. There. And nice thing about this is when the palette changes for when they've been hurt, the glow will update with that. It will now start affecting the new palette. So it's not going to look like the same glow the whole way through. As they take damage, the glow will change slightly with them as well. Because once it gets a little more hurt here, you will see the dark color get a lot deeper red. So there you can see it's a lot deeper red. Green is not quite as bright. So yeah, you get some really, really cool effects with this. Quite possibly some unintentional ones as well. And now, palette changed. He's no longer as deep red, he's back to brighter green. And now he's back to a deep red, not quite as bright a green. So yeah, all kinds of things. Which again, make sure to add the pointer in the box. Don't ever forget that. If you have issues, that's the first place to start to look at. I've also got set up, besides the door caps and the enemies, we've got this one, I believe it is. This one is for some more regular tiles, and this one I made it a bit more, the timer and the intensity a bit more extreme, just to show off some things that could potentially happen. So over here, you've got these glowing like this. So you can see, even though it's glowing, say blue or yellow, once it goes beyond the color, it will change into another one. So you can see this is going beyond blue and yellow, so it's passing between the two. So you can get some interesting things like this. And if you also notice, there's the regular FX1 glow going on here as well. So you got these tiles glowing, you got this FX1 glow, you've got the door glowing, all on different timers as well. Like I said, this thing is extremely versatile. Do literally whatever with it. Something I do want to mention about this image, while very helpful, keep in mind, you forgot to put a 9 in here. So it's best to count down to the line you're looking for, unless it's the very last line, then you know it's F. Or you just count up if that's closer. But that way, don't go off these numbers always, because in here you could get a little confused if it's not working, because you might be grabbing the wrong palette line. And also with the enemies, it gives, you know, enemy palette line 1, 2, 3, and then 07. Those are the normal enemy palette lines in the game itself. You can use 04, 05, and 06, but they equate to these three things. So you get some very strange and weird looking stuff if you use those for the enemies. So try sticking with just those 4. But something in that image here is Samus palette line, which is this one here, this line C. And then I did 4, and I'm only grabbing 1 palette bit. What this one is, this is making Samus visor glow. And again, I have this one set up on a completely different timer than the other ones, just because I like showing off that everything can literally be very different. So if you take a look at the visor here, see it changing to yellow and orangish, then I'll be going back down to green. So again, that's a much slower glow than what's going on here and what's going on here. So you can do the effects like that for Samus. If you wanted a certain area to make her glow like bluish, if you had like an extreme cold area or something like that, you can do that with Flexglow. You just have to put it in every room where that is taking place, obviously. And this one I've got going on, this one is actually making the FX1 glow. So let's refresh that, and let's go to this room where I've got this set up. Do that. And you can see now the water's glowing. This will work with any FX1. There is something to keep in mind with this, is that on this I've got it set up at 18. This 18 is going to be the same for every FX1 type thing, whether it's water, fog, anything like that. It's going to start at 18. Then I have it grabbing 3 pellets. The reason for that is, open up smile back here. If you go into the FX1, you see this palette blend, because I had to ask Black Falcon to explain this a little bit. It's like, why is this 48? Where do I find that? Basically, it's always 18, because what that palette blend does is it updates it on this line here. It updates these palettes in here. So no matter what your palette is picked in Smile, in-game it will change these palettes to whatever palette is loaded by that palette number. And then that's the FX1, or excuse me, the Flexglow will cause that palette color to glow in whatever fashion you have set up. So let's say I want to change that to fog. Let's see what happens here. I've not actually tested this one, so I'm kind of curious. As you can see, that's obviously glowing. It's a very interesting glow. Something else I could show off in this room. You can see these screens are glowing as well. It's because they are using palette line 1, which is what Spore Spawns was set up to. So if I wanted these screens just eyes to glow or something like that, or have them give them a different glow entirely from Spore Spawn, I would put them on like palette line 3, set that up in the code here, add another one in. and then that would be good to go. You can have up to 16 of these glows per pointer, and you can end up putting more than one set in the file. So you can use one master file for your whole hack. Just set them all up. I've sort of done that. Like, here's what I'm working with right now, my testing. I have this ShyGuyExpress. This one is what I've got going on. It's the same thing, but this is what I've got going on for hack I'm currently working on. I've got all this set up so far. Plus, I've also commented some things to tell me what exactly is what, because I have different palette lines here, obviously, so I know which one does what. So you can end up doing stuff like that. And if you want to do the multiple things, you can do all kinds of different enemy glows per area, even per subsection and area. You can set up a different thing. If your whole hack is made of red Brinstar, but you have different enemies in each submap, you can do the same main glows, like same 2 glows, whatever. If you want the blue doors to glow across everything, you can keep that glow in the next group, and then just change the glows for the enemies for that area. Have different glows for those in the next group as well. So those are some things you can end up doing with that. And I have one final thing which I have not quite tested yet. This one is supposed to cycle through with the beams. So we are going to test this and see how this works, because I wanted to show off the cycling as well. So let's open this back up, refresh the room, and this should just be for power beam I've got going on here. So yeah, you can see the cycle going there. Actually causes a neat little flicker effect. Completely unintentional. So yeah, you can use that to cycle through things. You can kind of see the cycle through on the explosion a little bit. Changes slightly. So yeah, this is a very versatile tool. And again, it's very simple to use. Basically, the majority of it is finding your palette. Once you find the palette and how many you want to do, then it's just playing with these other numbers to get the effect you want, or just a really cool effect in general. And again, you can have multiple different groups per each one. So when you apply it, if you do set it up, like this is the first table, and then you would have a second table at such and such a pointer, and then you'd plug that pointer in for your new glows that you're not using in this area. So very useful tool. Highly recommend you grab it and try it out and use it in your hacks. All kinds of amazing things you can do with it, and it is really, really simple, because again, it is just 6 bytes just to get one glow. And really, if you ever want any more, I always just copy the line so I don't have to write it out and then adjust the numbers as needed. I do always suggest keeping a clean Flexglow stored somewhere. Same way, like if you're patching hacks or hacking the game itself, you always keep a clean ROM somewhere. I suggest keeping a clean one of these somewhere. That way, sort of like what I've done here with the ShyGuyExpress, I just copied it, put it in here, made my glows for SLA. I've got the glows for this tutorial here, and for any other future hacks where I'm using it, which I will be using it in all my future hacks most likely, I'll have that separated out as well. So I've got each individual file for each individual hack I'm doing. So that's just a recommendation for that I would suggest. Otherwise, that pretty much covers the tutorial for Flexglow. It's a whole lot of really cool stuff. I really hope to see this utilized in a lot more hacks. And so hopefully that broke the mystery of the Flexglow engine. Really, really hope to see you guys put it to really good use here in the near future.